Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Another video means another M car, and what we're going to be doing today is showcasing an area of work that we just don't get a chance to document, which is vehicle enhancement. This particular M4 is tanzinite blue, and it has pretty much every paint defect that you could possibly think of. It's not particularly had a hard life as in its low mileage, but the paintwork's just not been cared for. So we've got zero paint clarity, marring marks, swirling marks, road rash and stone chips. So there's a lot to go through, and what we're going to be doing, vehicle enhancement ties hand in hand with the body shop department, which gives you an OEM manufacturer standard of paint. So the first process that we're going to be documenting before we pass over to Dean for vehicle enhancement is repairing the front bumper. This is absolutely battered in stone chips and it can't not be left or addressed. With that being said, the customer wants to go for the Magna plate kit, so we're going to be smoothing the front bumper and getting rid of the number plate, and documenting how we do this process. I know we've documented it in a previous video, but what we don't document is how we get an absolutely impeccable paint match. Now, how we can give you that guarantee and promise is an OEM manufacturer standard of paint. We use BMW colour systems as well as another brand of base F and glazurate for other manufacturers such as McLaren, Aston Martin, Mercedes, Audi. And the first initial process would be the spectro. So it's our in-house camera that will be scanning the front end of the car, because that's where we're painting, to give you an impeccable paint match. So what we'll usually find is we'll clean up the paintwork on an area of the front, whether it be the bonnet or the wing. We'll scan that, and once we've got a perfect paint match, anything above 85% on the spectro, we can then look to amend that or do some spray out cards to get a perfect match. So with that being said, let's document that. As you can see, the vehicle is absolutely filthy, as well as being battered in marring marks, swirls and not much paint clarity. So the initial process, we've cleaned up the wing. We can get the vehicle spectro out, and how this works is you push down, scan the paint, and it'll give you your initial reading. So there's number one. We'll have to do this multiple times until the camera's happy. And there's two readings. We'll obviously do a few more of those in a second, but you can see how much work is going to need to go into repairing all these stone chips. So the second process, once we've got the spectro done, will be to mix the paint, do some spray out cards and remove the front bumper. So we'll come back in a minute once we've done that, and we'll get the bumpers off. So we've taken two scans, and as you can see, they're both here and both identical. Tanzinite blue, the camera original is picking up 81%, its target is here, and the camera has readjusted it to give you a 91% match. Now, the original scan is already at 81%, so it's in the green, which is indicating it's a very, very good match. However, 10% over is fine to use. It's not too much of a recalculation to be trusted. So 91% here will give us an absolute impeccable match. Now, to give you an example of how this works, if we scroll down, right, we've got a Ferrari colour here.
So this at 78% in the orange is showing you that the original colour that the camera's picked up is blendable. It's giving you a perfect match in that, but it does need to be blended. It's recalculated it here into the green, and when we did this job, we did use the adjusted mix because again, it's only 10%, but we did blend it just to make sure, and that was an absolute perfect match. If any of these camera scans come in the red, and it's throwing you from a reading that's really low into super good, then that is a calculation that is not really to be trusted because it's way too high to trust the camera. And obviously you'd have to go into the old school methods of spray out cards and tinting, but anything that's a 10% indication is something that the camera's doing its job basically. Now, if you look at down here, that's showing you a standard shade is what the camera's picked up. Now on the tanzinite, if we go right back to the top, our initial scan has showed MF. Now what MF indicates is market formula. So the target is the original colour, and what market formula means is basically a rep of the OEM manufacturer standard of paint has come out and done some tests and reformulated the original formula to give you a market formula, so a formula that is best suited to this colour. So that shows me a standard shade wouldn't be quite good enough to meet the target that we're looking for. And with that being said, we go back to the old school methods, and here is the spray out for standard shade tanzanite blue. If we take that to the car, we'll show you that although it is quite good, it's definitely nowhere near a 91% match. So this is what makes us stand out and be able to guarantee you a perfect match. As you can see here in the light, obviously the light changes on the car here, but the standard shade, although when you flip it, is really good, it's not perfect. Now, if the camera will pick that up, it is a very good match. However, if you think when the light changes, if you can see here, where the light catches it here, it's lighter and darker down the bottom. That camera scan at 91% is gonna vastly improve this color. So that is the exact reason why we prefer to use the camera, but use the chips to double check, not to rely on. That's what a lot of garages don't do. They'll use the chip to rely on and do the best they possibly can. Sometimes the best you possibly can do is not always the best, and this is why we rely on the camera formulation to give you a perfect match, as opposed to the old school method of trying to match with a chip. So that is the refinishing stage is complete. The bumpers are built back up and on the car. We are now passing over to Dean, who's going to carry out vehicle enhancement. So Dean, do you want to tell everyone what that consists of?
Yeah, so we've got a lot of heavy imperfections in this paintwork, so we're going to be doing a concentrated two-stage polish. that consists of heavy cut and refinement. So we're basically polishing the paint down to level it off to get that gloss from the car and the colour. As you can see, it is a beautiful colour, but it's very heavily swirled. There's a lot of heavy imperfections in the paintwork. So what we want to be doing is taking that down safely and bringing the colour right back up. This is a side that's unpolished. If we go around to the other side, and then we can show you the bits that we have polished and show you the paint clarity and the difference after the polishing. So most of this side's been polished now. We still need to go over the top and on the carbon roof. The doors, the rear quarter and the wing have been polished, heavy cut and a medium cut as well. We probably will be glossing it over as well, but like you can see, we've taken out the imperfections. There's very minimal left over. We have got a few bits we'd like to touch in here. But other than that, you can see the difference in the paint clarity. There's a lot more gloss there. The colour is coming through a lot more. And then we'll be locking that in with the ceramic coating later on after we've prepped, checked over, prepped the paintwork, and then panel wiped everything down, ready for ceramic coating.
So while Dean carries on with the vehicle enhancement, we're just going to show you a few minor defects that are in this car already. So if you come down here, you can see marring marks, swirling, holograms from like hand polishing. There also are a few paint defects from previous poor paintwork. That will all be rectified, but we're going to fast forward a little bit, show you the process, how we carry this out, and then we'll rejoin you again once the ceramic's ready to be applied, and you'll see a huge transformation of what this car should look like. Right, so Tanzinite Blue M4, complete. As you can see from the video, it's finally got some clarity to it. So the paint is now popping under the lights. It looks super glossy. It's finished, transformation complete. I mean, what was this thing like when it came in?
Yeah, the whole car just needed an appearance overhaul. It was absolutely battered, stone chipping, swirling, deep imperfections. The bumpers were completely battered, which is why it was sent to Nathan and then to myself. As you actually can see, it's a completely new car. So if you want to run through what you've done with the car itself.
Yep, so front and back bumper has been refinished. Now, we praise meeting manufacturer standard of paint. And what is that? So every manufacturer is different. BMW typically, since we're talking about it, is painted in glazurate. So glazurate is exactly what we've used. There is two procedures of this, or two processes of it, which will be 90 line and 45 line. Tanzinite Blue is painted in 45 line, exactly what we've used here, as well as glazurate AC22 on top of that. Now, this is a manufacturer procedure. This is the same paint that's used within the industry to build this car from factory. With that being said, the procedure remains the same. So the application of it will be used by Sartajet, hence what we use. So 5,500 for clear, 5,500 for base,
and a 100B for primer. That is exactly the same process with the same paints, same primers, same clear coats for front and back bumper to meet an OEM manufacturer standard of paint. And I'm sure I'll put a little snippet up now so you can see the clarity is there, and we've matched the orange peel. So there's nothing worse than seeing something where someone's got glass, and although glass looks wow, if the rest of the car isn't glass, especially BMWs, they do have a slight peel to them. If it's not matched, then obviously it's a telltale sign straight away that they've been painted. So we have now matched the paint, as you can see from the Spectro video in the beginning of the video. The colours matched, the paint's matched, and we've also matched the manufacturer standards with the peel in there as well. So it meets seamlessly with everything else. That's front and back. And then tied in with Dean's work has just finished it off straight away. So if you want to take us through what we've done to that and what you've carried out, because it just looks mega, mate.
Yeah, like I said, the whole car's had an appearance overhaul from Nathan's work. We expect nothing less from Nathan. It's always perfect. And what we've done is try to match the paintwork around the car to those bumpers by removing around 95% of the imperfections in the paintwork, so it's restored clarity around the whole car. After that, we've locked it in with a 5-year ceramic coating for easy maintenance, protecting from the elements, and then it'll keep it looking like that for those 5 years. The additional details that we've done is removing the wheels, so we've deconned and coated the alloys inside and out with a deep wheel arch clean. The interiors had the detail as well as the engine bay and the sealants around the whole car, so the lights, windows, paints, grills at the front as well. The whole car's now protected, so it looks like a completely different car, and it's fully protected for 5 years now as well.
So with that being said, guys, this is a package deal for our customer, Callum. Now, we do this from time to time, and all you've got to do is phone in and inquire. So paintwork side of things would be one cost. Detailing would be another cost. But if you're looking to have absolutely everything done in-house, we do package deals where we can bring the price down for you. Now, Callum's opted for a 5-year ceramic. That can change. You can opt for a 7-year or a self-healing ceramic. And also, not everybody wants the MagnaPlate kit, so that can also bring the price down. But if this is something that you want doing in-house with absolutely everything, or a carbon kit, and maybe even the extra mile and going for some PPF, then we can do this absolutely everything done in-house. So once again, another transformation. This thing looks beautiful, and I did say this color, when it's done right, just looks amazing. Look at it. So thanks very much for watching, guys. We'll put some cinematics, and we'll see you in the next one.